last time on The Real World.
I will hear so many times, man, you about to graduate, when you walk down the aisle? Man, you about to do this when you walk down the aisle? Man, when's the year you graduating? But I don't know.
You might have a plan, but that isn't always mean it's gonna go exactly the way that you want it to go. Things are gonna go like this. Life goes in mountains, life goes in waves. So remember that it doesn't mean that you're failing.
Some of the classes I took, from the capstone for senior year, like, what am I taking this for? And it's like, I can use this and save thousands. They're not gonna get it back from me. I'm sorry, they gonna have to just charge that one game.
Being an adult can be hard, so it's like, it's okay. Sometimes you gotta, a good cry is needed on the way home from work, We all do it. And you keep it trucking.
On a scale from 1 to 5, 1 is meaning you strongly disagree, 5, you strongly agree. Adults still living under their parents' roof don't fully understand responsibility.
This is the true story
of 8 strangers
picked to be on the show
to talk together
and have their conversations taped.
Find out what happens
when people stop being polite and start getting real.
The Real World.
I mean,
That's where I was going. So, adults still living under their parents' roof don't fully understand responsibility.
I think to an extent, yeah. I'm not, because I feel like a lot of times it's like, people really like, for some bizarre reason, when you still live at home, it's like, you still live at home, and it's like, yeah, I live at home. Like, people, I don't know about that so negative. Like, rent is expensive in these rooms. So, definitely, if that's what you gotta do it. But when it does come time to when you do have to be out on your own, if you don't know what that looks like and you jump right into it, I feel like you can crash and burn really fast because you don't know that, I can't. Like, when you live at home, you live very differently than when you're at home and pay rent. And I just moved back out to my own apartment last month, and it's very different. It's very different. But having that experience of being able to take care of myself and being able to do things like that, I think that always prepares you and helps you get better as you take on bigger moves and take bigger steps. Yeah.
I also feel like, again, like you were saying, I agree to an extent because, again, it goes back to everyone's home being different. In a lot of cultures, people don't move out. Until a long time. It's actually abnormal for us to be moving out at this age. Like, a lot of people who I go to school with, they are absolutely living with their parents until they have enough money and their kids are established and they can move out. And I feel like when you're moving out, why? Is it because of everyone else that's telling you? Make the fight, again, going back to decision making, is it a financially smart move to make long term? Because my parents have said, please, you take advantage of us. Take our food, take our stuff, take advantage because, at some point, you're gonna absolutely have to be independent. And not everyone's home life, is like that. But, even when I moved out, it was I had stayed home all throughout undergrad, so I never lived on campus. And I used that time, to learn how to balance work life and home life. And that's something that, in grad school, students don't know how to do that, to balance everything going on. But I had that opportunity because I lived at home. So I think that, I agree that you don't have all the responsibility because you're not, living completely on your own. But baby steps. Don't rush it.
For me, my mom has always taught me and my brother to not need to rush to do anything. It's okay if your friends are already moved out. You can take your time. And that's one thing that I'm grateful for when it comes to my mom, because I've had friends move out and are struggling and have to move back home. My mom's like, when you move out, I don't want you to come back.
Right. My parents are that too. Come back.
And when you're ready, you're ready. Don't be in a rush. And then I guess it goes back to households too, because you could be in a household where your parents are okay, 18, you got to
see.
They were bye. You're in college. You're adult.
Oh, you think? Okay.
No, I was gonna say, I had friends, when my friends moved into their place and I was still living at home, I used to go to their crib all the time. And yeah, it's cool, you got your own spot, but like, you gotta clean up after yourself. You gotta, it's stuff like that. And I've seen friends move into places and move out within 6 months.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you don't need to put yourself, I mean, everybody did, like, I clean up. But I'm just saying, like, you don't need to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I saw how things were for them first. I saw the stuff that they had to do, stuff like that. So, I'm glad that I saw that, because if I was to just fall into that, I probably would have been doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
Is life after high school harder? Why or why not?
I mean, yes and no. Yes, in the way of having a lot more responsibilities. You know, you don't have, you know, your mother to refill your prescriptions and do little things like make sure y'all have light bulbs, because they're very expensive if you don't know. No, in a sense, because like you really have like freedom, like you can come and go as you please. You don't have to answer to anyone, and you know, you can like make decisions and sink or swim on them on your own.
I would say to a certain extent, because you won't get the full capacity until you go by yourself. You won't understand it.
I do feel like if you see it, like I just said, I think it helps a little bit better. But I guess you can never fully experience it until
you really go right into it.
Right.
But so the best thing you can do is to be smart.
Don't just out just because you know, be smart.
Use your parents, like they tell you. You take the food. Help them out with certain stuff. Stock your bread, and then
you're good.
When you're ready, when you're financially stable or stable mentally, you can go.
Because there are plenty of people who are super irresponsible in their own.
Exactly.
So many people who are irresponsible, who don't know what they're doing financially, who are not making good decisions, and they're on their own. And that isn't, again, that's going back to, that's going back to looking at from the outside. Like, you have no idea what's going on, what they're doing, you know? And that's why you don't compare yourself to people.
Scale from 1 to 5, how strongly do you agree with this? Our generation has a big problem with comparison.
5, 6, 7.
5,000. Yes. That's how social media is $1 billion, multi-billion-dollar company. That's why filters exist.
Filters, lights, all that.
It's
a metric of comparison.
Definitely, Me personally, though, maybe when I was younger, I used to compare myself to people. When I got older, I just got away from that. But I see other people that do it. People like to tell me stuff, and they'll just be like, "Yeah, you know what I've heard a lot though. I've heard that my family has compared me to this person, another person that's in my family, and that makes me kind of, you know what I'm saying? That makes me kind of, think like, oh, I have to have this, I have to have that."
Comparison is a big thing. You know, we have in this age, it's a social media age, if you do not know. Everybody's on social media, everyone is looking at somebody else, everyone is following somebody. No one is really being the real typical leader. Now, I don't think there ever really is a typical leader. You're always getting new ideas from either a generation or anybody. But really in this generation, the one that I'm in, you know, we compare ourselves so much. We want to be like other people so much that we end up comparing ourselves and trying to be like that person, and it only ends up lowering our self-esteem and not helping us be who we want to be, the best that we can be. So one thing I always say is, you know, the word beautiful, it says be you to full, you know, just be you. And if you be you, you know, you won't be able to, if you know yourself and know your identity, you won't be swayed by everybody else's opinions about what they do and what they're doing at that age and what they're doing at this time in their life, and you won't look back on yourself.
So when I was younger, I remember this, and this is when I first got an Instagram. It was maybe 6 months into it, right? And I was following stars and stuff. I was following people doing makeup, and at the time, I wasn't allowed to wear makeup and stuff. And so I remember scrolling through my timeline, and I posted something, and nobody commented on it, so I thought it looked ugly. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't look pretty. And I was I was young, but still, I was like, I don't look pretty. No one likes me. I don't look good enough. And that was totally me comparing myself. And again, I'm completely out of that now, but I think it's also with social media, if you don't know how dope you are, because then I know I'm dope. So I don't really anybody
You don't need like a
yeah,
validation.
right. I don't need anybody to validate me and tell me that I'm pretty. So I think that, or tell me that I'm this, or tell me that I'm that. You know, so knowing yourself.
My 20s should be dedicated to finding a career.
I work my whole life. My entire life.
Yeah.
No.
1 to 5.
Yeah, I feel like dedicated
kind of
I have an issue with that word.
Yeah, I got a real issue with dedicated.
Let's talk about it. Why do you feel that way?
I think it's important to have a job that I can sustain myself, that I can enjoy as much as I can.
Yeah.
However, I don't mean, because it's like, I am not, my life is about work type of person.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
I mean, I need a job to sustain myself, yes, and I'm going to do my job and do it well, but at 4:30, listen, my computer is closed. And if I'm not there, at work, I don't have a job. So it's like, I can't dedicate my life to, but like because I don't think about working. And like a perfect scenario, like I don't want to work. Like
I worked at I just shower with the kids. I mean, someone said, yo, like when 5:30 hit, I'm gonna forget about y'all till Monday, especially the weekend coming up. Like, I love y'all. Like, a few of them got my number. Don't ask how, but you can call me for 5 minutes. Yeah. Hey man, you come to the game? All right.
Well, I'll see you.
I gotta go.
No, that's what I was gonna say about the work dedicated. Like my whole, like they said your 20s. I don't know about that, but as far as what Nick was saying about finding something stable, having a healthy work-life balance in my 20s to prepare me once again for the next level of. I'm not gonna be working at. I mentioned Captain D's earlier. I'm not gonna be working at Captain D's trying to get an apartment and survive and try to thrive off that. That's just not gonna work unless I'm busting 100 hours a week, trying to do that because they only pay like $7.25. So, but finding a stable job where it's a 9 to 5 or a set schedule off weekends, I'm finding that in my 20s. Stabilization, healthy work-life balance.
I like that.
I think for me, where I am, it's definitely a 5, which is not the popular opinion, but for me, where I am, I have such I'm so laser focused on what I want to do, and it's different for me at this level because I'm used to, again, like I'm saying, like the whole balance, which is very important, having that balance. Yeah. But I feel like now is grinding for me because I know where I want to be. I'm not saying like a time frame, but I know right now I have to be dedicated to what I'm doing to get to where I want to be.
That makes sense.
I think that a lot of the time growth actually comes out of uncomfortable situations and things that seem difficult in the moment. It takes lifting up a weight, lifting the weight can feel uncomfortable, but the aftermath of that is a stronger muscle. So I feel like life after high school can get harder, but it's beautiful. I always say this is grinding time. I'm always in the grinding phase, and it just keeps me focused, and it lets me know the challenges I face are normal, and this is what I have to go through to get to wherever God has my purpose to be.
You better speak that.
Right now, I'm definitely, one of the things I'm doing is building relationships, because I think that whatever job you're doing, someone who you never know who you'll meet, and then maybe to help take you to the next level. But I definitely haven't learned that just going into my career and stuff. It's really, really about who you know.
Yeah.
So I definitely am taking my 20s, and really, honestly, it's going to be for the rest of my career. Building it is learning people, continue to learn people, and continue to make relationships. So I think that's one important thing to do in the 20s as well.
Can I add something to yours? You were talking about having an unpopular opinion. About how you're to 5. You agree with dedicating your 20s?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say something to go with that. That sounds like short-term discomfort for long-term success. Because So for a small period of time, it may be a little uncomfortable, but that long-term, this is gonna work out for my good. So let me just do what I gotta do now.
I think the best advice that I was given was that once we're in this limbo of finding what you like, but once you find what you like, become laser focused, because that's going to set you apart from this person and this person, not even to compare, but even for yourself, like to get to that point, you know, where you stand out and when you can really make an impact, it takes a certain level of focus.
It does.
You know, and that was a lot for me because I'm very much used to doing all these different kinds of things. But I'm just like, okay, if I really want to make a big impact, I have to be really like
focus on
okay, now this is what I'm doing. Right now, right now, this is what I'm doing. So I'm focused on it. And that's different things. It's not just my career, it's, you know, my relationships with my family. Okay, if I'm going to be laser focused on that, what steps am I taking to get to that level of that goal? What are the short short-term goals? Long-term goals? So I have like long-term goals, but like what are the short-term goals that I'm going to do to get there?
Exactly.
Because that's what
that's the biggest steps.
Okay, so this is what you want to do. What are you doing to get there? You know? So, yeah, I feel like it takes a level of focus and dedication to get there. I agree with that. Sure.
I kind of agree with what they were talking about, but I feel like you shouldn't rush just because you see what other people are doing, you see your friends. You have to surround yourself with people that will motivate you, but also not make you feel like you have to be at the same pace that they are.
I feel like this generation is the most pressured in looking at the next person and trying to rush their life and what they have to do. But I feel like everyone should just go at their own pace. This is not a rush. Go at your own pace.
Scale from 1 to 5, how strongly do you agree? I need to surround myself with people who are doing better than me.
In different areas.
I would say 5.
Okay.
Absolutely 5.
Okay. Because it might motivate you. It might motivate you if you want to do better.
Next time on The Real World.
If you surround yourself with people who know your purpose, that they can see it in you and they push it out of you, those are the type of people you need to be around.
As you get older, you learn who you should surround yourself with.
You got to be able to recognize that. You got to be able to recognize that.
Exactly.
Also understand that all your friends, they ain't all gotta be friends. Like, this group can be separate. Exactly. But you know, if you out with someone from this group, but this person wanna come, you could be all friends. But we don't all gotta be friends.